Hi guys, welcome to our podcast.
3 Ps in a podcast.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Ashley, and here we go.
Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back. Hi.
Today's our Taylor Swift episode.
Girl talk.
Girl talk. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to go over some different things. We're going to talk about our Dream Eras tour, and we're also going to break down some lyrics today.
Yes. LOML.
So, yes, do you guys want to start with the Eras tour, or do you want to start with LMLO?
I'm feeling LOML.
I don't care either way. Let's do it.
Okay.
The first lyric, who's going to stop us from waltzing back into rekindled flames? I said this could be Matt or Joe, because Joe and her were known to be on and off. So I feel like it's a little bit of both.
I love that line.
I don't disagree with that, but I just only see Maddie here. To me, just back into rekindled flames. I don't feel like people who are on and off even say that. Again, I don't think you're wrong, but to me, this is something we have not been together for many, many years. We're rekindling this.
I love that if we know the steps anyway. Like they've done it before. Like
Yes.
we already know that we can reconnect.
Right.
Yes, and for that lyric, I also wrote, she's done that a few times. So she did, and how did it end? We learned the right steps to different dances.
Aww.
And then in Cowboy Like Me, she said, and you asked me to dance, but I said dancing is a dangerous game.
So it's like...
I love her parallels.
Yes.
We embroidered the memories, to me, that's again just past life, you know what I mean? We have all of these memories together, let's see where these take us.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes.
I love we embroidered the memories of the time I was away, stitching We Were Just Kids, babe.
Yes.
Like they embroidered that.
Yes.
It's so
and
sweet.
I feel like the stitching is like, we were just kids, like we're trying to stitch together a relationship back together.
Yes.
And like that was the excuse, we're just kids.
But then it also brings it back to that embroidered. Like they were doing this, and
I
so
also
cute.
said it's crazy. So for So Long London, she says stitches undone. So we're stitching, we were just kids, babe. And then you have So Long London, the stitches are undone.
Yes.
We're letting go of this.
That's true.
Yes. And then I also, in Glitch, it says 5 seconds later, I'm fastening myself to you with a stitch.
Okay.
So she has the stitch thing a lot.
And they are typically songs about Joe. That's why I'm like, this feels like a Maddie song, but it also feels like a Joe song.
And you know what I mean? We talk about this all the time, you know what I mean? While we may, as Swifties, kind of argue about who it's about, to her breakups were so close together. You're talking within 6 months, she had 2 breakups.
Yeah.
It very well could mean for the both of them.
Exactly.
For this song specifically, though, for saying the love of my life or the loss of my life, I feel like it has to be about one person. Like I feel like she is envisioning.
And she does kind of say that, person. I felt a glow, never before and never since, and then I felt a hole. You know what I mean? So that does feel like that's. I don't know though. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But our next line, it says, I don't mind, it takes time. That feels like Peter to me. That feels like I will wait for you to grow up. I
love that.
It takes time. It's fine.
I don't mind, it takes time. It takes time. I thought I was better safe than starry-eyed.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah.
I remember when we did our first listen of this song, we all three looked at each other on that part. Like, I thought I was better safe than starry-eyed. We were all three like...
Yes. And then if you know at one glance it's legendary, you and I go from one kiss to getting married. I feel like this is also the idea of when you have issues in your relationship, you're like, it's fine. We'll just go ahead and move to the next step and we'll fix it. It'll be okay.
This is so true. But I had wrote as she says, never before and never since. I felt a glow like this. And that. To me, that's strong. This is epic. And then when you really go into, if you know it in one glimpse, it's legendary. You and I go from one kiss to getting married. It's intense. And that's why, to me, that's another indication that this is not Joe. They were together for 7 years. They didn't have.
But that makes me then still alive, killing time at the cemetery, never quite buried. Why were they at the cemetery for this long time? She's holding on to it. It's dead, but she's holding on to it, trying to make it work.
This kind of Joe side too. It says, if you know it in one glimpse, it's legendary. If you just look at us from the outside, you know, we go from one kiss to getting married.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
this is legendary, but
See, and that's it's just so funny. So like this is like just how you perceive it.
Yeah.
Because when I hear that line, wait, say that line
if
again.
you know it in one glimpse, it's legendary.
Yes, if you know it in one glimpse, to me that is like a glimpse. She got just a fraction of Maddie, and right away was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get married and have kids.
See, I'm seeing it as like looking at someone else's perspective. Looking at, like if you know it just in one glance, it's so legendary. Funny.
Like then that's why like her lyrics are just so.
I know you could relate. We
could just keep going back and forth like this for every song.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
And then even the next line, in your suit and tie, in the nick of time, you low down boy, you stand up guy. Low down boy is a homophone with London boy. You low down boy, you London boy.
Yeah.
And I like the like in your suit and tie, in the nick of time, like you stand up guy, like just saying he looks so nice and on the outside, like
yes. And I see everybody like people will talk about this like that line a lot because. I will see it's about Joe and they'll send pictures of him in his suit and looking nice. Oh, I've seen a million of Maddie too. So like that one did not help me at all either. Because I was like, I have seen both. But to me, like, I guess and so like when you said the low down boy, you stand up guy, I always took it like I even wrote it a little note like sarcasm because that's how I've always taken that like line from her. Like the way she says it to me, it feels like she's being sarcastic. Like you stand up guy, like
which I feel like you would say to a more like proper guy. Like you stand up guy. Like everyone just thinks you're the stand up guy.
It's so funny.
You know?
Yes. It's hilarious.
I don't have anything for the Holy Ghost.
I have nothing.
Yeah.
More religion talk, which is a very big theme. Yes. Holy Ghost.
Religion, which we did say we were going to make notes of. So this is another one.
Going back, the cemetery, I need to add to the counter of that is a mention.
And there's even a whole, if someone even didn't feel like, killing time is solitary, there is something about die or something on there because I made a note of it. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot in here like that.
And then you said, I'm the love of your life about 1,000,000 times. Then in illicit affairs, they lie and they lie 1,000,000 little.
Yeah. Yes, I seen that. I love that. I'd love to just make note when she says, you said, I'm the love of your life. She does not say, you said, I'm the love of my life. So that is not fitting the LOML. Yes. So like
LOYL.
Yes, but that does not fit because people are like, she says love of my life. No, she doesn't.
She doesn't say it.
She never says.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
Yeah, she never ever says love of my life.
Yes. Who's gonna tell me the truth when you blew in with the wind of fate? Who's gonna tell her that it was fate for the relationship to end? Like, wait, sorry. Yeah, so like. Who's gonna tell me the truth, which was the relationship was ending and and when you blew in the wind of fate, like it was fate for them to not only meet each other but to be pulled away. It's kind of.
I feel like with the verses, I'm not trying to say chorus, but it's not the chorus. I read it in like the 3-line set, so it's like, who's gonna tell me the truth when you blew in with the winds of fate and told me I reformed you? Yeah, like you told me I reformed you. Like who's gonna tell me the truth? You know, like I don't know. I love that line too.
The only reason I didn't read that one as 3 because my next one I think is 3 is because told me I reformed you. It made me think and I can fix him. No, really.
Exactly, which screams Maddie to me. That's exactly what I was about to say. I was like, here is my Maddie thing, and told me I reformed. Joe was not going to say that. Mm-hmm. He was this perfect great guy with or without her. It didn't
Maddie
matter.
And Joe are so opposite.
I mean, that's funny. What you do.
Yeah.
You break up with this great guy and you you get your rebound. You get your Maddie. But I think for Taylor, we all thought this was her rebound, but it wasn't. She had been doing this dance with Maddie for 10 years, making it not a rebound, and which I think about took her out doing 2 of those breakups in a row. That's rough.
When your impressionist painting of heaven turned out to be fakes, and Peace, you painted dreamscapes on the wall. And so, like, and then even impressionist impressionist paintings are usually done in one go. There's no sketch, there's no, like, you don't get to see the mistakes. You think this is all perfect and like the painting's done, but there's mistakes in it and there's issues in it.
And also, like, when your impressions paintings of heaven turned out to be fakes, that line always reminds me, because later on she says, what's counterfeit's dead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Counterfeit, fake. What's
Yes.
fake is dead. It was
Yeah.
never real.
That's how I
And
look
so
at
that's
it
how
too.
it tells me, like, when your impressions paintings of heaven turn out to be fakes, like, they're counterfeited.
Yes.
Like,
I think this whole song gives a big like impression that like it looked perfect on the outside,
Yes.
but it all turned out to be not what everybody thought it
Yeah.
was.
yes. I don't even think that. I think this only from herself. I don't think this is necessarily her fans or how everyone perceived it. I think what she thought.
I think why I said that is when we were talking about the other
Yes.
line.
To me, this has
Yeah.
always just been about her experience.
Yeah.
Because there's been songs that she's like, y'all, I know I was with him. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need to hear your judgment and Christmas. She knew that everyone hated this.
Yes.
Knew
Yeah.
that. So to me, it was just about her, like, this was my guy.
Yeah.
This was the love of my life.
Mhm.
But it was fake.
Yeah.
It was counterfeited. It was not real.
Yeah.
Well, you took me to hell too, and all at once the ink bleeds. Like, if you're writing on a page with ink, ink's unpredictable. Like, just like emotions are. Like, it may spread across the page, and like,
And
It's
all at
so
once
good.
too. Like it's like she wasn't like it just hit like all at once the ink bleeds. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. A con man sells a fool a get love quick scheme.
Which, again,
Oh, I love that.
that
line.
screams Maddie to me. Screaming.
She's the fool. The con man sold her the get love quick scheme.
And I feel Maddie told her, because she talks later, like, you shit talked me under the table.
Mhm.
And this tells me it's Maddie. Like, Maddie is the one, like, we're going to get married. We're going to have babies. I don't think this was Joe.
and so for that, a con man sells a fool a quick get love quick scheme. Taylor Swift on her Reputation vinyl had Why She Disappeared. When she finally rose, she rose slowly, avoiding old haunts and sidestepping shiny pennies, wary of phone calls and promises, charmers, dandies, and get love quick schemes. So this isn't the first time that she's used that either.
She used it in Reputation on her vinyl,
Which was a Joe song.
which was a Joe song.
I think this yeah.
Wild.
But I felt a hole. I love the switch up from the
Yeah.
last one. I felt a hole like this never
Yes.
before and ever since. Instead of the glow
Yes.
that she's
Now it's a
felt,
hole.
now
Yeah.
she's felt it ever since too, not never since. Oh, it's so good.
So bad.
She's so good at words.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you have, if you know it in one glance, it's legendary. We thought this was for all time, was a momentary. So it feels like they were together. Yeah, well, I was going to say the thought was for all time was momentary. So I feel like, I don't know, that makes me...
I feel like
That-
Joe.
that
likes
feels
it.
like Maddie to
That
me.
feels
It
like
was-
because they had this big, long relationship, and now it's just
What
over.
we
and
thought
now
were-
it feels,
was for
yeah,
all
Yeah,
time
but-
was
all
momentary.
time,
To
and
me,
then it
that
just ended so quickly.
Again, like, I think she thought this was it.
Yeah.
She was going to be with Maddie. They were going to be
Mhm.
all time. But it was momentary. That was short. That was little. That was a fortnight.
Yeah.
So then the next new line would be use cinephile in black and white, all those plot twists and dynamite.
So I think really we need to find out which person is a like movie buff.
gives me Joe vibes. He
That
gives
gives
me
me
very-
Maddie vibes.
What?
What?
No, I think Maddie is a
When
musician
she said
and
that-
Joe is movies.
Yeah, exactly. So that's when she said that yesterday. I was like, oh, this makes me think even more. Joe.
I mean,
He
yeah,
seems like he just is pretentious about movies. Like,
Yes,
oh yes,
where
these
I
movies,
feel like
these
Maddie would be
classic
pretentious
movies.
about music.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. So but he gives me the black and white vibes.
I see Joe all the way.
my
This
God.
classic
This
movie
is
buff.
so funny.
I feel like
love
Joe would be
this.
like thinks he's kind of too good, like this classic movie buff.
And now-
like-
And then
having all those plot twists and dynamite, like, it feels like the same. I mean, when you're in a long-term relationship, you like something happens and it feels like a plot twist, and it's like all that time.
But right here, you cannot tell me Joe is Mr. Steal Your Girl. You cannot.
you can't tell me Maddie.
But he did.
Yes, yes.
You
he did, he
can't
did.
tell-
You're
but he
right, you're right,
didn't.
You are right. Mr. Steal
I
Your
can
Girl.
see why. Like, I'm not saying Maddie is a god or anything like that because he's not. She can do better. She is doing better. But I think the hold that he had on her was a Mr. Steal Your Girl, then make her cry.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That line is
He
probably,
stole her from Joe.
that line is very
That's why I feel
convincing.
like this is so like
I know.
intertwined. There's no way it's about one person.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, we all both made too many great points.
Yeah,
I mean, we really did. I mean, I think I have held up my end of how this is Maddie, but I think you two have held up your end how this is Joe.
Yeah.
I think we're on the same level right now.
Yes.
I don't think you guys are wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And then you tossed me under the table, obviously, meaning behind her back.
Yes.
Like, you talked crap behind me, my back.
That's not how I took it.
Does it say you? Oh, that's how I take it.
Wait, you talked about me under the
does
table.
it say in the song you shit talked me under the table?
You shit talked me
On
under
the
the
lyrics right here, it
table.
just says you talked me under the table.
No, it's
and then
you
said you
yeah,
talked
no,
me
it's
too.
you shit talk. What do I have? Nope, it says you talked me under the table. But no,
You
it's you
talked
shit talked me under the table.
I wonder why it doesn't have that on the lyrics.
I just took it as, wow, that's crazy. Because I took that line more of, like, you were telling me behind closed doors that we were going to have the rings and cradles.
Oh, I always took it as,
but it was obviously shit talk because you didn't mean it.
When you
so
look at the lyrics, it does say you talked. I want to go listen to that part now because
it's you shit talked me.
I'm gonna go to my Spotify.
Let's do it.
Love of my life.
Oh, on here it does say you shit talked me under the table.
I already know.
I don't know why when I copy it from Google.
I don't know. I copied it too. I did it. I don't know. There's something probably about lyrics. We must have him. Shit talked me under the table. Yep. I mean, this is my second favorite song on this album. Like, I have listened to this 100, 200 times.
Under the table, talking rings and talking cradles.
See, that's what I mean. Talking rings, talking cradles. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm with you.
So it's that shit talk under the table. It makes me feel like, so I don't have one person for that person, but whoever it was talked behind her back. Me, and does make me feel about more Joe, because Maddie is more publicly for Taylor. Like, he won't say anything bad about her, but Joe will, like, when they asked her about her, like, career, like, oh, what about Taylor? He'd be like, oh, we're not talking about it.
Like, you know, though, hearing you saying that the other way, I never thought about it that way. It could be like, you shit talked me under the table, like you fed me all this bullshit under the table.
That's how I took that.
I could see that too.
Like, behind closed doors, away from everyone. And that's why
rings and talking cradles. It makes sense with that next line that it's not so much.
That's how I've always
fed me bullshit.
Yeah, but your guys' way makes sense too. Like, I don't know. I just never perceived it. This is why we're doing this, because there's so many ways you can take these lyrics. That's why it's studied in colleges. You know what I mean? Oh, it's so good.
So then I love this
song. And I love how we almost had it all.
I love the I wish I could unrecall how we almost had it all. Like, unrecall.
Yeah. And then Dancing Phantoms on the Terrace, and are they secondhand embarrassed that I can't get out of?
Like, it's like the ghosts are outside, and are they secondhand embarrassed just witnessing this? It's like a metaphor.
This is why it also screams another Maddie thing to me, because to me that now she's talking about us, like, oh my god, like, I'm embarrassed. I put all this Ben here, and he has done this to me, and now I'm crying, and my fans can't even begin to understand why I'm crying over this guy. My family can't even begin to understand.
Are they secondhand embarrassed?
Yeah, her friends, her family, her fans, like, because that was definitely her most controversial relationship she was in.
Yeah,
that people judged her for.
Yeah, and she's like, are they secondhand embarrassed that I can't get out of bed? That I'm so heartbroken about this guy.
Yep.
Because something counterfeits dead. Oh,
it's fake, dead.
Legendary.
Never
momentary.
It was unnecessary. I love that part. Should have let it stay buried. That gives Maddie.
That's Maddie. Yes. Should have let it stay buried.
Yeah,
I should have never done that.
I have chills. I always do that. This is iconic. This whole part right here.
It's so good. I love it.
What a valiant roar. What a bland goodbye. I love that bland goodbye. Like, it wasn't as. It felt like it wasn't as big as she would expect. A bland goodbye.
From the songs that I feel like are Maddie related, the vibe I get is that there wasn't a big epic. I think he just kind of ghosted her, kind of stopped talking to her, just kind of.
She thought when she got out of this relationship that he would be there, because that's what they had always talked about, and he wasn't, I don't think. Or I think he was for a second, and it was the same old.
Same old.
Not supposed to mention another one off of this song, but No More Girls Were Boring, but
exactly. But then it's
The coward claimed he was a lion. I love that.
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of
Cowardly
Oz.
Lion.
Yes.
and it's like I also had mentioned to you too before. I know I've already had said this to you too, but it reminds me of Twilight every time. Every time I hear that, the coward claimed he was a lion. In the Twilight book and movie, they say, and so the lion fell in love with the lamb, and he's like, what a stupid lamb. He's like, what a sick, masochistic lion. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know, they just give those same vibes to me.
Yes.
I'm combing through the braids of lies. That's a great line.
I'll never
The
leave.
Yeah.
Never
It's
mind.
like in quotations too. I'll never leave. Never mind.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Just lies that
Yeah.
he was feeding her.
So I can't remember the exact lyric but Daddy I Love Him, but she does talk about braids and
Yes.
Daddy I Love Him.
Yes.
And it's like, was that like the braid of lies of like,
Yeah.
Daddy I love him? Like, yeah.
Our field of dreams engulfed in fire. Oh, so good. The arsons match your somber eyes. Which gives me actually Maddie vibes more than Joe. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
And I'll still see it until I die. You're the loss of my life.
And there it is. And I'll see it until I die.
Yeah,
so there
there
is
is.
another
There's a
death.
religion and there's a death reference
Yep.
in almost every song in this album.
You're the loss of my life. The LOML.
Yes.
Yep. And we all were like, love of my life.
I
What a great-
know.
Oh,
I
it's
never.
loss of my life.
That was so shocking to me. I remember we ended up, we're like, it's loss of my life.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because we kept saying that.
Yeah.
It's loss
This
of
is
my
one of those songs that
life.
we were just looking at each other like the entire time the first
Yeah.
listen. I'm like, what?
Yeah. It's
How is it not a track 5? I mean, So Long London is so
London
good.
is
Yeah.
meant for track 5.
But, oh my gosh, it's so good.
mhm.
It's a track 5.
The whole album's a track.
Yeah.
five,
Yeah,
let's be
okay, good
honest.
point.
Let's
Let's
just
be
name
honest.
the album track 5.
Track 5.
All right, guys. So we're gonna talk about our dream Eras tour now, like
Yes.
what we would want on our Eras tour.
And I will start by saying, me and her did it. Me and Chelsea did it based on how our dream, like exactly. We didn't care about anything else and who else.
I kind of kept songs or added songs that I thought were so iconic that they had to be in her Eras tour. They didn't really do that as much.
If I don't love an iconic song, then it was not on here.
Yeah.
Like, I took Shake It Off, even though it's so iconic, but I don't feel like it's necessary. But, like, We Are Never Getting Back Together, I don't play it, but I'm like, that is... Wait, did I put that in there? I think I did.
She said, I think
I was thinking more of, like, Look What You Made Me Do.
Oh,
like, I
okay.
wouldn't reach for that song, but I'm like, it's in
Yeah.
blank space, things like that.
Yes.
You know.
So starting off with debut, I had our song "Should Have Said No" and "Picture to Burn," and I know that they do not.
I had
agree
all
with me
three of
at all.
those, but I had more.
Yeah.
I am not an R song stan, so I did, we are starting with Tim McGraw right away, and then we are doing Picture to Burn, Teardrops on My Guitar, and Stay Beautiful. Oh, so good.
You didn't do Should Have Said No?
Nope.
That surprises me. So
10-star for me.
I did a mix of both of yours. I did Should Have Said No, Tim McGraw, Teardrops on My Guitar, Picture to Burn, and Our Song. I feel like I had to keep Our Song. Like, it's one of those ones, too, that I'm like,
No.
That's
it's Our
what I
Song.
said for me, Our Song was the first song I really remember having, like, by Taylor Swift, and it started
Yeah.
everything else. So, like, there's obviously, like, Should Have Said No and Picture to Burn were, like, also in there in my brain, but that
See,
one was
mine
just
was
so
Tim McGraw.
iconic to me.
I remember
McGraw.
watching that Tim McGraw on Music on Demand, the video.
Yeah,
for
mine
it.
was Teardrops on My Guitar. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I
I
love Teardrops on My
remember
Guitar,
just
too.
sitting at the computer listening to that, crying. That was like the first time a song like
Mhm.
hit
And
me.
I was like maybe 12, 13 at the
Yeah.
time, and that I was feeling all those feels. Like,
all the feels.
in
I
love
was
with
like 7, 8. So like, yeah, Teardrops on My Guitar really didn't relate to me.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, I was
We
crying
were at
over
that
some boy.
that
Yeah.
teen
breaking my
stage.
heart.
Yes, same.
I thought I wanted to play guitar at the time. I was like, I need to play a big acoustic guitar like Taylor
Mhm.
Swift.
yeah.
And yeah, no.
Yep.
For Fearless, I did Mr. Perfectly Fine and Love Story.
Sounds good.
Mhm.
Now, Fearless is one of my favorite earliest albums, so I did more than that. So we're starting off with Fearless. It's iconic. We're doing Love Story, White Horse, You're Not Sorry, The Way I Loved You. So basically, when you leave my concert, you're going to be in your feels.
Yeah.
I have very few bops, but we're digging deep into the soul. You might need therapy when we leave.
So mine is really similar to yours. I had Fearless, White Horse, You're Not Sorry, You Belong With Me is one of the ones that I'm like, it's so iconic. I skip it every time. I don't really want to listen to it, but I need it in the Era store. It has to be in the Era store. And then I have Love Story, and I have The Best Day, because that's my daughter's song, so I had to add The Best Day in.
So Speak Now was like how Fearless was for you guys. Speak Now was for me.
Yes.
I had that CD. I listened to it on repeat. Like I
still ended up
the order of the album just off the top of my head.
I still ended up with 6 songs from Speak Now, but I don't.
I only did 4.
Yeah.
I surprisingly, I guess I only did 5. So I had Enchanted, obviously, and I had mine, Dear John, Electric Touch, and Timeless.
I don't hate yours because I have Enchanted, Dear John, Back to December, Timeless.
I had all 4 of those. So I had Enchanted, Back to December, Dear John. I did Never Grow Up because that's me and my son's song. And then I had Timeless, and I had Long Live. I was like, you have to have Long Live. We never really talked about the rules of this at the beginning. So I guess we can mention it now. It's maximum of 6 songs per era. And then
minimum of 1 song.
Minimum of 1 song per era. And then you can add 2 surprise songs, but you can do mashups with those.
Yes, and it's a max of like 47 songs, I believe.
Was there a max limit on songs? That's what I asked you. You're like, no, you can have up to 6 per album. I was like, oh, okay.
No, it's max 47 songs.
Oh, dang. I did not count my songs. I could be off on that.
All right, so she did fix that. So we're going to go ahead and move to Red, which I had Everything Has Changed, and Ed Sheeran will be coming out to perform that with her. I Knew You Were Trouble, and All Too Well 10-minute version.
Yeah, I just have Better Man, Begin Again, All Too Well 10-minute version.
I have 22 because I love the hat and the outfit and the dance. I love that performance. I have We Are Never Getting Back Together. I have Better Man and All Too Well 10-minute version.
My 1989 is Out of the Woods, Clean, and This Love.
Nice. I just have You Are in Love.
1989, I have Style. I have Bad Blood. I have Wildest Dreams, Slut, and Is It Over Now?
Nice.
And then I obviously said for Reputation is Delicate and Dress.
Now let's go on. I have Dress, Don't Blame Me, Delicate, Gorgeous.
I have Delicate, Don't Blame Me, Look What You Made Me Do, and Dress. We have very similar reputations.
We do, yes.
It's Lover, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Lover is Cruel Summer, False God, The Archer.
Oh, I have False God, The Archer, and Lover.
I have Cruel Summer, The Man, and Lover.
Just so similar, but so far away.
Yes.
For Folklore. So I have The One, Cardigan, This Is Me Trying, Mad Woman, Peace, and Exile. And Exile will be performed with Bon Iver.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I have Cardigan, Exile, August, This Is Me Trying, Peace, The One. And Exile Bon Iver will be coming out and performing that.
Yes.
So I have The One, Cardigan, Exile, also agreed. My Tears Ricochet, August, and Illicit Affairs. I could not.
So similar, but
yes.
I could not give up the Illicit Affairs bridge. I couldn't give it up.
So good.
And then Evermore, Right Where You Left Me, Long Story Short, Tolerate It, which still upset that's not on it right now. Champagne Problems, Happiness, and 'Tis the Damn Season.
Nice. Yeah, so we're doing Willow, Champagne Problems, Marjorie, 'Tis the Damn Season, Right Where You Left Me. We're ending Evermore segment with Tolerate It because that should still be there.
Is Evermore your biggest one? Other than Torture Poets?
No, I have
Folklore,
Evermore.
And
Yep, they're the only ones I did the full
the
max
6.
on. Yep.
So Evermore, I have Champagne Problems, 'Tis the Damn Season, Tolerate It, and Right Where You Left Me.
And then into Midnights, I had Midnight Rain, Vigilante Shit, Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda, and You're Losing Me.
I have Maroon, You're on Your Own, Kid, Midnight Rain, Vigilante Shit, You're Losing Me.
I have You're Losing Me, You're on Your Own, Kid, Midnight Rain, Vigilante Shit, Bejeweled. I love Bejeweled.
We were so close to finding the exact same
I have
Midnights.
Karma too, because I love her ending on Karma. I think that's a great song to end on.
And then for Torture Poets, which this one was so hard. Like I
This
thought
was the
Folklore
hardest.
and Evermore was hard.
But this
It's because it's 2 albums of pure masterpieces.
Yes.
It's so hard.
So I have Cassandra, Peter, The Prophecy, How Did It End, The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, and Who's Afraid of Little Old Me.
Mine's so different. I have Fortnite, So High School, Guilty as Sin, Peter, LOML, So Long London.
Ours. Mine is The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, So Long London, Who's Afraid of Little Me, LOML, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, and Peter. I think mine is, again, like a mix of your guys'. I have 3 from yours, 3 from Ashley.
That's so funny.
One of my songs, technically, that like she would perform that's not a surprise song, is like just, she did it with Big Red Machine, and it's Renegade, so that would kind of just, I don't
Be its
know.
own era.
Yeah, I guess it's like own thing. And then my surprise songs, I wanted a mashup of Seven and Never Grow Up. And then I wanted a mashup of White Horse, Love of My Life, and I Can Do It With a Broken Heart.
I think that first mashup is so good.
It
like
is.
Seven and Never Grow Up.
Yes.
They go
that's
so
me
good
and her
together.
Song. I don't know if we've ever mentioned that.
With matching tattoos.
Yes, I have a Saturn and she has a moon. So I couldn't not have an Eras Tour with Seven on it. Or an Eras Tour without Never Grow Up.
Yeah.
Yes. So you did both your surprise songs.
Yep.
So for my surprise songs, she's first going to do I Don't Want to Live Forever. I just love that. She can do that one even by herself. It's fine because it's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Seven. We're going to play Seven all the way through. And then at the very end, you're going to have a line from Clara Boa that says, you look like Taylor Swift, isn't it dazzling? Or whatever that line is.
Yep.
And it'll make that full circle from starting at Tim McGraw to ending with the Taylor Swift.
Yes.
So my surprise songs, they're all Torture Poets department. My first one is a mashup of The Black Dog and How Did It End? And the second one is a mashup of Down Bad and Fresh Out the Slammer. I love those mashups.
Those
together.
mashups are good.
Oh, they're good.
Those
I had
are
to think
really
of songs that like gave a similar meaning, and I like it.
Yeah, so I added I Can Do It With a Broken Heart because I realized I was over for my like Torture Poets set, so I added, but that White Horse and Love of My Life, I was in her room and we were listening to Love of My Life. I was like, this sounds like another song.
Oh yeah,
and
forever.
I was like, this, and she's like, no, and I was like, I feel like it's White Horse, and we like listened to the first part of White Horse. I'm like, no, I guess it's not White Horse. I kept thinking that, and then I seen someone do that where she's saying like Love of My Life and then went into White Horse. I'm like, so it was White Horse.
Yeah.
But it was more in the actual song.
Yes.
But it was identical.
I was like, I need to hear that, and then I needed to move I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. I was like, that feels like that also goes into that. Like,
I also felt like I put that in my like actual Torture Poets department era. I felt like that one is so meta for the Eras Tour. It's about the Eras Tour, so I was like, I have to keep that one in. But yeah.
But let us know what your guys' Eras Tour is like. I would love to hear everyone's.
Yeah, me too. And we were gonna go over kind of our order too, but
every Taylor Swift song is a good song.
Yes.
So I know when I was doing it, I wanted her to come out for Speak Now, then going into Lover, and then going into Red, and then Fearless to Debut, to Evermore, to Folklore, into Reputation, into 1989, and then you have Midnight's, Torture Poets, and I wanted to end with surprise songs.
I like that.
I do not hate that. To me, that's a very like you kind of cut the sisters together almost.
That's what
I was like. I really liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started. I am a traditional girly, so I started with Debut. Like I said, like she's going to play Tim McGraw. We're going to go through Debut, go to Fearless. We're going to go in order.
Yeah.
We're going to end on Her Strongest Note, what she's just completed, and we're going to do some surprise songs because then we're ending with that line from Clara Boa.
So I actually just kept it how she keeps it ordered. I did put Debut in between Red and Speak Now because I just felt like it was a good little mix between those two. But honestly, if I was to reorder this and like my ideal, I think I would do how you do it. Like I love like the idea of like her, it's the eras, like it goes in order. I do love that.
I think like when I first was doing it, I was like, I have to do Speak Now because like I said earlier, like Speak Now was like my album.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I want to start with that, and then Torture Poets, obviously, and surprise songs were kind of like at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know, my brain.
I love it.
Yep.
Yes.
I do love it.
But
so let us know your opinions on our Dream Eras Tour. Let us know what you would want on your Dream Eras Tour.
And let us know what you thought of Love of My Life.
Yeah.
Like, what your takes were on it. If you think it's more of a Maddie song or if it's more of a Joe
or if
song.
you
are we way off.
Or do you think it's generally, like we said, a mashup of all of them?
Or if there's lyrics that you interpreted a different way. Or,
yes.
Yeah.
Just
So,
let us know.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week.